Me, 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 me.
La 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 la.
Getting rid of morning voices.
Yeah. So,
It's Saturday morning.
yeah, we didn't record it
We
last
did
night.
no. What we did do, however, for episode 10, by the way, we watched Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 hours and 1 minute of it.
Yeah.
And
glorious.
it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
What a difference. Huge.
Unrecognisable.
A different movie completely.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I just can't understand, and I still can't. We've even talked about this, and I'm still going to say it again. I can't understand how they took such an amazing movie, gave it. Now I'm pretty sure it's Will Wheaton that took over.
Yeah.
If someone of that namby-pamby nature, and absolutely butchered it into what we were originally given.
Yeah, like they softened it down to a point where like it was just not even the same.
Not even the same movie.
Yeah, like the character progression was completely different. It's amazing that there was that much even filmed with potentially knowing the fact that it was never even going to get put out there, but it was still done.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So overall rating, it just genuinely, I think one of the best superhero movies.
Yeah.
I think I've seen, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to put it out there. I think now I've had time to sleep on it. Better than Endgame.
Yeah, I would solidly say that as well, because as a standalone, because it's beginning, middle, and end all in one.
Yeah,
they don't spread it out over multiple films. As a standalone film, I do think that that's probably the best superhero film I've seen.
Honest to God. So if you're debating because it's 4 hours long, not watching it, oh my God.
Yeah, do it.
Get your snacks.
Do it.
Have a 2 hour toilet break.
Yeah,
like we did.
Yeah,
2 hour or 2 hour sausage break.
Yeah, we went to the toilet and had some bangers and mash.
Because that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And honest, it's just that I don't want to spend the entire podcast talking about it because we could.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a lot of people who are not like. I mean, I'm not a comic book geek by any stretch of the imagination. Didn't collect them. Didn't really read them as a kid. Would read them sporadically.
Yeah.
So I'm quite a middle of the road guy when it comes to. I love superhero movies, but I'm also easily disappointed by them.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm by no means giving it leeway in terms of, I love Batman, so I'm just going to watch anything with Batman in it.
Yeah.
It's, honest to God, the character, the film you've seen at the cinema basically removed every single moment of character building that this film has. It does it builds every character individually through the whole movie.
Yeah, they've got a backstory. You connect with them
it's
more.
It's incredible.
And everything has meaning, and everything that they do carries weight. It's much more of an emotional film. It's not like you're not going to cry.
The music,
but you understand. Yeah, the score is amazing.
I had literally. I was thinking about it now. I had goosebumps every single fight scene that went on.
'Cause there was a lot of fight scenes that happened, but also, like, sometimes you almost get numb to it because it's like one after another after another, but you didn't get that at all. Like, there was sufficient breaks and changes of pace so that when it ramped up into another big action scene, it felt like it got you going again. It was paced very, very well.
Music again was a huge factor in that. But even like the scenes that were just revamped rather than like, they were just different. They were so much better. But one, there's blood, gore, people getting chopped up in it.
Yep.
It's way more visceral.
Yeah.
Way more visceral. And it's the bad guy.
Batman says a swear word.
Batman says a swear word.
He says
We're not going to tell you when, but he says a swear word.
And it's so cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like just him saying it, and you're just like, oh, he's annoyed, he's angry.
It's like hearing someone's dad get mad and swear in the car or something that you've not heard him swear before.
Yeah.
It's it's so good. It's so good. Honestly, I just cannot say, just watch it. Watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it again tonight. I'm going to tell them.
I'm watching it again.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm going to watch it again.
Just for the little things, like the little sequences and stuff like that, now that you know what's coming, you can start paying attention to even more details in it.
Yeah.
But just, wow. It just goes to show, doesn't it, what an art making a film is. Like how, because you can't, honestly, when you've seen, by the time you see it, you can't understand how they bastardized that to a point to make that. Like, I wouldn't have watched that film 4 hours length one, the Zack Snyder one. Wouldn't have been able to watch that and think anyone could ruin it.
Yeah.
Wheaton did a job.
Yeah. It's almost a talent to him.
I'm sure it is Will Wheaton, isn't it? Isn't it? I'm
don't
just not
know the
nerdy enough to know.
details,
I'm pretty sure it's that plonker who's in Big Bang Theory. Right. It's the guy who did something like Buffy or something like that, and they always bring him in to make things shit and pay him to. They paid him to ruin that movie.
Yeah.
Like, and honest to God, ruined it. He did. He took it so far from what Zack Snyder's vision of it is. The grading's different, the coloring's different, the music's different. There's entire new sequences in there that they removed clearly because they thought it was too violent.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. Like, get some balls, Warner Brothers. So one, let's all create like a little, like go to the moors with pitchforks and knives, little gang. Let's find Wheaton and just dick punch him for at least 24 hours.
Yeah.
And never, ever, ever touch another superhero movie again.
Use his nuts as a speed bag.
Yeah, a multiple speed bag. Everyone gets a turn.
Yeah.
And if you can't punch, you get to kick.
Yeah.
Just honest to God, there's
Watch it,
no
just
word
watch
to
it.
describe how much he fucked that film up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really just not even comparable. Genuinely, so I haven't seen the original since it first came out.
Because you wouldn't, would you? Why
No,
would you
because it
watch
was shit. And
Yeah.
and when I first watched it, I turned it off halfway through and then finished watching the rest of it at a later date because I was like, oh, it felt like it was cringy almost because it was them just desperately trying to do what Marvel was doing.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
They just tried to take what Marvel's doing and just reskin it effectively. So there's new faces in there doing the same shit.
Wasn't it, to basically child it up
Yeah.
a bit? Like there's and what he did, one of the main things he did, which ruined the movie, is he puts comedy in areas of the film that no comedy should exist.
Yeah.
Like the middle of that fight sequence with the parademons when they're in the tunnels under the water. There's a bit in the original where the Flash pushes Wonder Woman out of the way of something falling, and then they fall, like he falls on top of her, and there's like a moment of awkward sexual tension joke in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck is that doing in the middle of them fighting for their lives? Like,
Yeah.
and you just, when you look at it back now to see how that whole sequence is redone,
Yeah.
you're just like, how did that moron even think that fit there? Like, even a 12-year-old kid could go, that's not the place for that scene.
Yeah, it was just it completely kills the kills the tension.
Genuinely angry about it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Genuinely angry. Like,
But
he
then,
got paid to make it shit.
How funny is the Flash in the new one though? And
He's
everything
fantastic.
and it's timed perfectly. You've got these light moments of comic relief that come in just when it's suitable.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's never when anything heavy is going on. Yeah. It's in these interludes or the linking scenes that are joining stuff together, and it's just like
he's much more enjoyable as a character in it.
Yeah,
because
they all were.
Way more progression from Flash as well. You see way more about him, get way more of his character, which then feeds into those moments of levity.
Yeah,
because you're bonded to him as a character. Yeah, where in the original you barely see him; he just comes and makes jokes all the time, like this little random guy in red making jokes.
Yeah.
In this one, he's very
basically a cartoon character.
Well, there's very serious moments of him having to he gets hurt, and there's a real moments where he is basically a pivotal point in the movie, which was completely removed from the original. Unbelievable. What a dick.
Yeah, but just go and watch
that
it.
got released.
Yeah,
so happy.
I really hope that it just causes a
cascade, little snowball effect.
Yeah, and they'll kind of
give us a Suicide Squad that's redone, please.
Yeah, just like all of the shitty Warner Brothers things that they've done recently, just give them some fucking freedom.
Did you hear that Johnny Depp is back in?
I've heard about that. I think you mentioned it the other day,
Johnny Depp
I haven't
is
seen
back
the news.
In as Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's amazing. If it is true, that is brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Suck it, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I love Johnny.
Me too.
He's brilliant. But look, one more thing, and then we'll move on from the Schneider thing. If you I didn't like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Prior to this movie.
Yeah.
Every single character in this movie is developed to another level.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was awesome.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
But the fight scenes, again, would run differently. The music, the timing, the way the shots were laid out, it makes it better because it's, again, more visceral.
Yeah.
And honestly, let's admit it, Wonder Woman's first movie was 3/4 of it was okay. The ending was diabolically bad. It was like a bad Harry Potter ending. It was dreadful. Jesus Christ. The next Wonder Woman one, is it 74, 84? So it's actually pretty decent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little. It's I preferred it to the first one, but in this, I was with her in every moment. And I did not like Wonder Woman before, and this I'm all in with her. She kills.
Yeah.
For starters,
yeah.
They all kill in this, and that makes it. That's the boundary breaker.
Yeah.
Because it makes everything way more.
Everything carries weight.
Yes, gives it gravity.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. And you feel you feel the weight of obviously what happens to Superman at the start, and then you kind of like
that emotion that they create from the deaths of anyone that dies as well.
Everyone's in a
again.
Everyone's in a state of like mourning in a certain sense, and it's affected everybody, and like you can tell that they're not there. There's different now.
Genuine tension through the whole movie.
Yeah,
fuck, it's so good.
It is. It's brilliant.
It's
really
incredible. Good. Oh, I'm not even gonna say better than fucking Endgame. Like the only thing with Endgame that really holds its weight against it that made me think is that relationship between Iron Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Tom Holland and
Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr. They ad-libbed tons of those scenes the way they did it, like the little kiss in the hug and stuff. That wasn't in the script.
Yeah,
and you really felt that through the screen, that genuine chemistry they had.
Yeah.
But that's the only moment in that film that I truly remember. I think, other than the battle sequences being marred with too much going on and me not being able to see things.
It got a bit cluttered at the end.
Yeah, they Game of Thrones it a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the way I wanted to describe it. So the battle sequences in the Snyder Cut is, if you imagine the Battle of the Bastards, remember how good that was in the Game of Thrones. This is how they've made the battle sequences in this version of the film. Yeah. It's that intense.
I got quite a few like feels of 300.
Yes,
like in a
I was going to say that, like, with the way it's filmed, the colours, the grading and stuff.
The grading's like the contrast is relatively high. There's loads of slow-mo in the fight scenes, but it's used. It doesn't feel like it's used excessively. Like it's used a lot in 300, but it's very cinematic when they do it. And also like the score, because there's lots of like, I don't know what you'd call it, like singing, but like kind of chanting almost.
Oh, it's very
and, like wailing.
Yeah,
and that goes on. It sounds way worse. Word, like, but you know what I mean. It's
that almost like holy kind of music, that very holistic.
And I don't know what the genre.
What is the genre of that?
But whatever it is, it worked well.
Maybe
and they used that in 300 quite a bit as well.
Yeah, very similar themes. So, just so good. Right, go watch it. 100% giving it a massive double thumbs up. 10 out of 10.
Because of it being 4 hours long, though, we are doing this in the morning, so we are going to take a little bit of cracking.
We do have, obviously, we didn't want to let y'all down. Let y'all down now. We don't want to let y'all down, not have no drinks on the show.
We're taking one for the team here and drinking in the morning.
Drinking in the morning, so you guys are a bad influence on us.
Yeah, this is all your fault.
Yeah, if later down the line you see us and we're just like two old dudes drinking on a porch, it's your fault. Oh, that's a good pop. So we've got...
I'm doing that again.
Yeah, no, I'll put it back in because we have to tell them what we're drinking for starters.
Oh, okay.
You've just bypassed the entire entrance.
I'm keen,
You're too keen for a morning sip. So we have the Kraken Black spiced rum, but this is the special edition bottle, so it's sick. It's a bottle you keep and will refill over and over. It's like a grey with lighter grey, but it has all the tentacles embossed on the bottle, like in 3D. So it's as if the Kraken's grabbing the bottle from the other side.
It almost looks sick. Like porcelain.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and it's very piratey again in the way it looks, and it's got a nice black cork lid with the old Kraken on the top there. So this is on. Obviously, a lot of people know this, but most people will have this with mixers. That is a mistake once you start drinking it with just the ice, because it is a really beautiful rum. So this is a dark spiced rum, and it is dark, like dark spiced rum. You can get some which are a golden colour that we've had. This is... I'm going to do the pop as well. Oh, that's a pirate pop.
Yeah.
There you go, you put yours first, matey.
Thank you, mate.
So this one, I mean, this
Did
does...
you call me matey as
matey,
well, like you are a pirate?
Like I'm a pirate.
No, you mean matey.
See how dark that is?
Yeah, that's very dark.
Isn't it?
It's almost like Coca-Cola.
Almost like Guinness. Yeah, it's like Coke. It looks like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Now I'll do the pour. This is the sound of the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's no glug. It's a pirate pour. Oh, we're supposed to be having a little one, weren't we? Oh, well. It's Saturday. Never mind. Don't tell the parents.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, so like we watched around about 2 hours because the film is split up into like 6 chapters.
It's split into chapters, and we thought that'd be a good idea to take a break.
Yeah.
After the third chapter.
Yeah, it was when chapter 4 started, paused, went to the toilet, got some bangers and mash, came back, and then finished the rest of it.
But as a result,
which meant we finished PM. We finished at 11.
We thought we could do the podcast then, but we were both yawning a little bit.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure we were like full of energy. But I was torn though, because I was just like, the film is like so fresh in my mind, and I wanted to like.
I'm happy we waited though, because I'm genuinely like woke up. No, that was as good as I remember.
Yeah.
I had time for it to sit.
I understand now, because I was telling you yesterday when I saw Tom, one of our coaches. Basically, he was coming to the gym to do some work, and he spoke to me and was basically like super hyped about it because he watched it the night before me. And like he never has any energy in the morning. He's like a proper, like, not a morning person. And he was like hyped, and I was like, why are you so excited about this the day after you watched it? And then like now I understand, because it was fucking awesome.
This is the beauty of movies in general. Like this is why I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch movies because they take you on emotional roller coasters. Especially if you sit, like we sat and we invested in that movie, right? So we're not talking about the movie anymore. We're talking about just the environment we created to watch it. So I set up, over this lockdown, one of my best investments is I've had these Sonos Play, they're called Sonos Play speakers, and it's a Gen 2, so it has Alexa built in, you can talk to it and do everything. I bought one, it's so good, I bought another 2. And then I have an old school Play 1, which will link into the same system. So what it means is I have 4 of these speakers around the house, and you can literally, they play on their own network. So when you move from room to room, the music follows you. It's a beautiful thing to do in your house. Like, it just, because if you've got good music playing, you have to go upstairs to do something, the music's still with you all the way through. It just leaves you with a good feeling through the whole day. And I have stopped putting my TV on as much as a result of having these speakers now, which is great. Really great. But what we did was, you can take 2 of these speakers, they're very clever. Because we were running it over AirPlay, you can link one speaker with another speaker and create a stereo system between the 2 speakers. So we did that and then threw the sound to the stereo speakers. So we had cinema level bass whilst watching the film, which was perfect.
It was amazing.
It was sick. And it actually really thought, I need to buy a sound bar for the TV. Because I've never really experienced that before. And that was good.
It was good. It added a new level to
I
it
had
as well.
childhood happy eyes. Like, just woo. Yeah, so that I mean, when you do watch a movie, don't just sit down and go, go watch a movie now. Like, set yourself up for it. Get yourself in the mood. Get your break. Get dialed in. That's how you enjoy a movie. I can't stand these people like up and down, in and out. Like, you're not watching the movie. You're not enjoying. I am watching. No, you're not. Movies are about emotion and character building, and if they don't do that, it's a shit movie. Unless we've taken away from it. Like, I love things like Demolition Man, which they're not deep character building movies, but there's great context to them. And the scripts are fun. And
you
stuff
enjoy
like
the
that.
film for what it's for.
It is.
Like, when Demolition Man was made, no one was like, we're going to get an Oscar with this one. Well,
but what we're going to do is be watched 37 times by a gentleman in England called
someone, like, it's just meant to be fun, light-hearted, action, entertaining, bit of light comedy, stuff like that, and that's fucking brilliant. And as long as you just go in with that expectation.
Just go, set yourself up for the movie you're going to watch. So like with us, when we were sitting there, the curtains were down, we had all the lights off, with just one light in the corner on, we had snacks out, as we made it cinema time, and we enjoyed it.
Because I used to love going to the cinema. The cinema was always like, even if the film wasn't great, I liked the experience of going to the cinema, getting some snacks, and just like, I don't know, just having like 2 hours sat in a dark room watching something.
When someone says something like, oh, it's 2 hours and a bit long, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
I loved it when it was a long movie. I was like, what are you on about? Why are you complaining? I love being sat in the cinema for longer.
Yeah, I don't get why people like think that's a negative. Like, if this was in the cinema and it's 4 hours long, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm getting loads for my money here.
Exactly. You're getting value for your money. It doesn't cost you anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's like 70 minutes, I'm like, oh.
Like that last Rambo movie was like an hour 15. It was so fast. I almost was like, it was great though, because the pace of it worked at that speed, but I just was like, oh, we're in and out so quick. Whereas, I think, like, well, we said, didn't we, as well, because we got ourselves in the mood and did all that, didn't feel like 4 hours either.
No, not at all.
So we enjoyed it. So it shows that you enjoyed a movie. It felt no longer than 2 hours to me.
Yeah, I would have said between two and a half,
max. It felt just like the original, but just so much more.
But looking back on it, so much goes on, and there's so many scenes, but it just never feels...
Never drags.
There's not a pointless scene in there that you'd be like, didn't need that, really. Everything kind of had purpose, I felt, which was good. Yeah,
honestly. So it's just...
we're not going to answer any questions. We're going to keep talking about the film. Sorry, guys.
No, but that was my thing, is when you're going to sit down and there's one of these events that's going on, whether it's the Snyder movie, whether it's something else that comes out a bit later on, enjoy that fucking moment and give yourself a bit of levity in the day, to just break away. That's the beauty of movies. This is why gaming is sometimes good, as long as you're not like addicted to it. But
Turning
it's
into
that
Arthur
escapism.
Morgan.
Yeah, it gives you that escapism away from, you can forget about everything else and just invest yourself in that. Put your fucking phone on silent and turn it face down. Do not pick your phone up midway. You're going to have the urge to do it because we've all got this bad tick now where we check our phones. Put the motherfucker in a different room. Like, just invest for 4 hours into something, or to a couple of hours, or an hour and a half in that new movie you want to watch. And you will feel great
4
afterwards.
hours is an extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an extreme version, but I do it with everything.
Yeah.
I do it with every good movie. I'm like, right, if it's something I'm wanting to watch, I set myself and I invest and I'm in it. And that's why I could never understand these people that are up and down, in and out. Like, it would irk me. It make me generally get a bit like tetchy.
Yeah.
If I'm watching something. So, but then that leads us back to our ADHD thing that we have as well with the hyper focus, which just probably helps us be a bit like that.
Yeah, I get sucked into anything. Like, even I was saying yesterday, like the worst thing could be on the TV because I can't have any distractions when I'm working, and I will just end up just my attention will just go onto that. Emma can't talk to me if there's anything else going on because I will just accidentally tune out halfway through and then just start looking at the TV, and I'm just seeing it could even be in a different language, and I'm just there
what is that?
Watching.
Oh, it's our dumb brains. It's our dumb brains.
So, but maybe that in certain aspects, like when getting dialed in on when you're playing a game or when you're watching a film, you just get immersed really easy. It's weird how it seems to help with immersion in fun things, but massively hinder with work or things that you find it hard to do. It is a little bit odd, but.
But I think, again, it's because we create the environment for the fun thing. To make it a place we want to be. And that's what you need to do with work. And that's why a messy office or a junky room or just sitting at a table with no real purpose is not the way to get your work done or be progressive. You definitely have to set an environment where you sit in it and you're like, okay, this is my productive mode.
I think a lot of people have struggled with that during lockdown because so many people have started working from home, and people are got these dodgy set up home offices that are in the living room or in their bedroom or in their spare room.
Worst thing I do is sit on the sofa with my laptop on my legs. It's stupid. I'm way less productive when I do that.
End up on Pornhub.
I heard a great thing the other day. Be like, if the internet got deleted and there was only one site left. Oh no, it was if porn got deleted from the internet, there would only be one site left, and it'd be www.where'stheporngone.com.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Isn't it something I'm sure that it was a huge percentage of sites on the internet are taken up by pornographic stuff. I'm sure it's over 50%.
Serious?
Yeah.
Which just makes you wonder, who are the people that pay for it?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Who's still buying porn?
Yeah.
In 2021. This needs investigating into a deep level. If you're paying for it in this day and age, how dark and seedy are you?
Yeah, and how much do you care about the production value?
If you're well, that's free, but
I want it filmed in 8K. They're not,
I want 8K.
I do not believe
filmed
that's
on a red
acting
camera
at all.
I want character building. I want storyline.
Yeah, this plot line is so not plausible.
I want slow-mo. High def slow-mo porn with real emotion and all the thing and the wailing
this
music.
Is going to exist. Yeah. Zack Snyder's.
Oh my god! It won't be Zack Snyder though. What would it? It'd be Back Riders. Back Riders.
Yeah. Oh god.
What would it be? Just in.
In. What could be league?
No, there isn't anything that covers league.
God damn it!
Damn. We're on a road. We're good.
Yeah.
Help us with that title.
Yeah.
What would be the porn equivalent in the comment section if you're on YouTube now? What is the porn title for Justice League?
Yeah. Actually, you can just do this for superhero films. So just
any
superhero films you can think of, just rename them as a porn title.
Right, the movie and then the rename.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
That'll be hilarious.
That will be
I can't wait to see that.
We're going to do something every week. We're going to have a daft comments section kind of thing to do.
Yeah, because we mentioned it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, and it's quite good fun.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to have a little bit of interaction. I always enjoy reading through them as well.
Let's make our comment section a ridiculous area to read. Ridiculously fun.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, mate.
Should we look at the questions?
Should we have a little sip first? I reckon this has got down.
Do you know, because we've shut the curtains to film, it actually feels like it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And because it feels like it's nighttime, that makes this okay.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Chin chin.
It's all about feel.
Yes.
I'm sure it's,
First sip.
8 o'clock somewhere.
We've had coffee, so technically it's not our first drink. Oh, it's just there. So you get the first sip, it's smooth. Then you get spice coming over the back of the tongue, and then the heat afterwards.
That's nice.
Oh, that is
nice.
and the heat keeps coming. You
like
have to when it's not mixed, the Kraken, you got to respect it because it will bite you if you drink it a bit too quick.
No, I like that a lot.
Second sip, you get all the spice straight from rather than it kicking over the back from the first one. The second sip, you get it straight down from the moment it hits the front of your tongue down the sides of the tongue. You get that spice.
That's one you can drink. I feel like you could drink quite a lot of.
Yes,
because it's that, for me anyway, perfect balance between like sweetness and heat.
Yeah, you get a little bit of sweetness as it hits the front of your tongue, then the spices kick down the sides of the tongue, which I think where those, because your taste buds are obviously all separated on your tongue, aren't they? You've got like sweet and sour all in different areas and salty and whatnot. You ever done that test?
Oh,
where you have the stick and you dab it on different parts of your tongue to see how it tastes. So, and then that one will give you a heat kick towards the back, and that heat will stay with you while sipping it, but it gets a little bit sweeter the more you drink it, but the spices stay just as hot.
Yeah.
So you never gets overly sweet.
Yeah. No, that is nice.
Yeah,
very
lovely.
good.
A bit of Kraken.
Yeah. Should we get onto some of these questions then? Right. So, well, I suppose this is kind of relevant to Kraken. I'm guessing this is relative to something we were talking about last week. So surely a pirate hat and an eye patch would be suitable.
For what? Just wearing generally?
Yeah. Because we spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, but you said that the guy who you knew had a pirate hat wore it at like the lifting,
I didn't know
powerlifting
him
meets.
personally, but I've seen him at meets and I've seen lots of videos of him.
Yeah.
He's always like looking very
Piratey.
Yeah.
But that was an event and we were discussing you couldn't wear a pirate hat just walking down the street.
You could do that, mate.
Well, you could, but you wouldn't look cool. You'd look like a douche. I think a pirate hat is an event-based hat.
An event-based. What about an eye patch?
Well, I mean, if you're missing an eye, you're probably best off with an eye patch rather than scaring kids.
Well, then most people have got glass.
Oh yeah, no, they do have the quote. I met a dude on holiday with a glass eye thing, and he showed me. He took it in and out. It was mad, but he was born without an eye.
Oh, right.
With like a partially formed eye.
Yeah.
So he actually had a bit of a hollow eye socket with just this little bit in it, and then he popped the eye out. A good-looking lad as well.
Yeah.
And he whacked the eye. You didn't know. You couldn't tell. It used to move and everything.
Yeah.
Because
I suppose it's
because the original eye was still behind there that was not fully formed, so it would move on it.
Yeah. I think it's like the musculature around it as well, which helps it move.
It was very good.
Wow.
But not like you think though. They're not like a ball, like that you pop in.
Yeah.
They're more like a cap.
Yeah.
So like we all see like them getting knocked on the back head and they're like a
Yeah.
marble falls out of their face.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're like
It's a
almost
dish
like
almost.
a giant. If you think of the shape of a contact lens, almost.
Yeah, but
A
bigger.
bit like that, but bigger and thicker. Yeah.
Right. We've got another one. Got my first real bike recently. Looking for badass gear. Any recommendations?
Oh, I've got to recommend. Yeah, what? As in the bike or the actual kit?
I think this is going to be your kit because we've also had somebody else who's asking when they can see the new lid. So
yeah, because right,
is it the
okay.
same
So
guy?
we're getting back into biking season now, and I teased like up on stories. I try not to buy a new helmet every year, but I always fail.
But I found this.
Yeah, because by the time it gets to the new season, there's something that got released like 9 months ago, and they've usually dropped into a bit of a sale.
Yeah.
And then I will go on an absolute hunt to find the best deal, and especially when there's flash sales. If there's one in the flash sale, I've been watching this helmet. So I've got an AGV lid, and it's the AGV K6, and this is the smallest and lightest touring lid ever made.
Yeah.
And it's primer. It's in Nardo grey, they call it. It's basically primer grey.
Yeah.
I've got the blacked out lens on the front, and it's good looking, isn't it?
It is really nice. It's very
beautiful.
smart.
But I took it out for the first time the other day. I've only been out on it once, and oh my god, the tech in it, So when you're riding, when you get above about 70 or 80 miles an hour, normally your head's getting a bit pulled. Like some helmets can lift.
Yeah.
Some can kind of almost get a bit of not a speed wobble, but you get buffeting from the wind.
Yeah.
This beast.
Stays glued
This
to the dome.
small, tight little bit. I've got a full carbon lid, and I gave you that to hold, didn't I? Which is the Nolan, and then I gave you the AGV to hold afterwards. How much different? How much lighter is it?
Oh, it's madness. Like
Insane.
Yeah, it felt. It probably wasn't, but it felt like half of the weight.
Yes, it's incredible. So, 65 miles an hour.
100. I mean,
I popped my head up, and my brain bucket didn't move. Like, it was as if there was no wind. I got no wind noise. Like, normally you get down the side. Zero. I can't even fathom it. I was turning, and I got up to speed, and I was turning my head left and right to see if it would pull. Nothing. It just like hot knife through butter. Beautiful, very aggressive fit there, so it fits quite close. So it depends. Like, okay, so we're on kit recommendation. If you're new to biking, RST is a great brand to go for because they do you get a lot of bang for your buck, and they've got different scales, everything from like their entry level stuff all the way through to track savvy kind of things. But they don't do helmets, so that's like your leathers, your gloves, your boots. That's RST. I would also check out a brand called DXR if you want more of the day-to-day wear looking stuff like Kevlar jeans and things like that and boots on Sports Bike Shop. It's only UK, I think, that one though. So I hope these guys are UK. Helmets wise, real easy. Scorpion, great bang for your buck. Do some really cool helmets, very clever. A lot of their carbon range is on sale right now. AGV, Italian brand, aggressive fit, but beautiful looking helmets. Always, because it's Italian, and they're always they love a bit of it. And but aggressive fit. They're quite like race fitty, all their stuff. HJC, really good brand. A lot of bang for your buck again. You will pay more. As that, I've got a Deadpool helmet, which is HJC. But again, very comfortable, very safe, and you can get some really good deals. I would go have a look at the Rafa 11 and the Rafa 70. So it's RPHA 11 and 70. They're great helmets. Anything else kit wise? Did you say bike wise?
He just says kit wise. He's got his first real bike in quotes.
Okay. Yeah. So helmets, AGV, HJC, and Scorpion. And for your kit, look at RST, DXR, and Oxford.
I did spot another bike question here, which I'll probably try and get in together. I'm sure it was. It was something along the lines of, do you have any recommendations for first bikes? Because he's just looking to book his theory.
So tough, man.
I'm sure it was that.
I would say don't get a super sport bike because super sport bikes, you have to muscle them like round corners and stuff like that. And when you're just coming on, you want something that's really flickable and easy. And it's going to respond to you even when you're not giving it enough response almost. Whereas with a super sport, you really have to shift your weight through the bike to get it to go around the corners as it should, because it wants to lean round corners.
Yeah.
It has to lean round corners, the way they're built, whereas if you get more of an upright bike, they tend to have their weight a lot lower, and they tend to be able to flick left to right really easy with you being sat quite upright. Whereas with a super sport, you have to push your weight through the bike forwards almost, because of the seating position. The displacement's different. So I would, for first bikes, have a look at like Ducati Monsters. They're really, really nice bike, look great, and again, you're upright. If you've got a bit of money, Triumph Street Triple. Fucking amazing bike. Like it is just it does everything. It's Triumph, so it's quality build. The headlights are a little bit hit and miss with them. Like the more you look at it, the more you like it. But they're so comfortable to be on, super comfortable. So we'll have a look at Triumph Street Triples, Monsters, Ducati Monster, and CBR 600F. Have a look at those as well. They're really good bikes for touring on, but are a bit more sporty.
Right.
So yeah,
I have zero input for any of it.
Yeah.
I'm just staying quiet. I'm just like, okay.
Yes. I wouldn't go for, unless you're like die hard want to do it, go for something like a chopper or something like that, because they're a very, very different ride. And if you ride a chopper and then go and try and ride something different, it's a world of difference. It's because they have very little lean angle. They're a complete different seating position. They're not as quick off the mark. They're a different ride altogether. They're like a. If you took your sports bikes are out for when you go out on your runs, and then the Harleys and all stuff like that are for if you're going for a jaunt.
Yeah.
They're very different. They're very different. Yeah, but I'm getting this is cool. Right, so Obviously, I've done some work with Harley in the past. They built a bike for me for a competition, which we absolutely annihilated and beat everyone in the world because I was the only influencer in the competition. Everyone else was like just a celebrity or something.
Yeah.
And so you guys all voted for my bike to win, and we beat everyone so badly that the next year they made it an influencer-based competition. Yeah, we annihilated everyone. The only point it didn't win was when it went through to the judging panel in America or somewhere, and then there was no voting.
Yeah.
It was just their decision.
Yeah.
And we made like it was an 810 Harley iron. It was an iron. Underpowered for me, really. I was supposed to keep the bike and do it, but it just wasn't quick enough. So I wasn't going to be riding it enough, so I didn't bother in the end. But we hydro dipped it and had it snake skin through the tank.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks sick, but it pissed off old Harley riders because it was all blacked out with basically an Anaconda-esque, but in like golden and black hues, snakeskin tank. Then it went to a custom leather seat with Boom Baby embossed on it for me, and then the rear fender was also hydro dipped, so like with the snake. So sick. It was sick, man. It looked dope, but they didn't like the old school Harley guys hated it because there was no chrome.
Yeah,
and the snakeskin print was like kind of like boom in your face.
Yeah, a bit Larry
for him. Yeah, but obviously it looked. Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Put it on a bigger bike, I would have kept it. I would have 100% kept it.
But you'll have to show me a picture of that.
Oh, I've got one on there. It was sick. It was a cool build. That was with Leeds Harley Davidson. I did that.
What were you saying? I know there's something coming up with Harley.
Yeah, because I did that. Got a message the other day because obviously we're coming out of lockdown, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're releasing the Pan America.
Yeah.
Which is their first adventure bike.
Yeah.
So this is their first step into this field of touring, off-road, adventure stuff. It's kind of like BMW do a GS.
Yeah.
And it's the big bike, the big BMW bike you see everywhere. It's dominating everything.
Yeah.
It's a fucking amazing bike, though. Like, that bike
is... that like... Because the... we were talking about long way around and long way down.
Yes,
that was
that's
a big
the bike.
BMW,
in the original ones, it's the one they ride.
It's a big
not
beamer.
The shit last one where they ride electric Harleys, which was just... It's great because it's Ewan and his mate, but... they're basically riding for a plug every episode. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. They can't go off-road or do anything because the bikes have no clearance. They've got like these huge heavy batteries. Dumb. Anyway. Worth watching because it's Ewan and he's lovely. I can never remember his name. Charlie Boardman. Yeah, and he's really good in it. And Charlie, actually, just doing that show just after he'd had a really bad accident. So he's got like a really bad... He got... I think he had an operation on his hip or something.
Yeah.
And he's like... He's not in the best way, and he goes on that tour with them. But you could not keep him down.
No.
I love that man's spirit. Yeah. He was just like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing rehab, but I'd rather be on a bike riding." He was like, "Yes, you would, sir." Good lad, really good lad. He deserves more props than he gets for that show because he puts up with a fair old amount on that.
Yeah. I was going to say it's very focused around Ewan for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but like Charlie's he's a great character as well. He's a
and
funny
even
guy.
when Ewan has these moments in that episode, there's one part where for some reason people. Like the Star Wars fanatics recognize him, obviously because he's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Even though the films he's in are terrible, people still love him for being Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And there's a point where they're in a cafe and it's like a zombie apocalypse. There's just people at the like, Obi-Wan, Obi at the windows. Like they have to get security because they've just been surrounded. And then. So it's obviously the whole focus at that point is Ewan. And Charlie's just kind of like stood at the side like a lemon.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, like Charlie has like no, it doesn't say any word. Like, you get some people that be a bit uppity, a bit shitbaggy about it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, wasn't that a beautiful moment, Ewan, that you got to make each one of those people's days better.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was like, you are a top man, sir.
Yeah,
no jealousy. No ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful moment. I love that. Well worth watching. So they're releasing this adventure bike. It's called the Pan America, which you will see. It's Jason Momoa's in the advert for it.
I have seen that ad.
Yeah.
I've seen that ad.
And I'm going for the release ride of this bike.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a load of celebs and then this guy.
Nice.
Going to get to ride this bike. So I'm hoping to let us go off road with the guy.
Maybe you might meet Momoa.
Nah, he won't be there. It's in England, isn't it?
You COVID. Never know.
If he is, prepare to see a newspaper article where man has to be pried off other man.
Lex wets himself.
Would not stop hugging to a point where he was arrested.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna
be imprisonment for hugging.
So I got invited to go and ride this bike on the release day, launch day of this bike. And I was like, yeah, 100% count me in. And literally like 4 days later, they're like, oh, also we'd like to send you a Harley to ride around for a month. And so they're going to send me, April 14th, I'm getting delivered a Harley Lowrider, which is a 114 cc engine. It's a big engine. It's a big, big girl.
That is amazing.
So I'll be brapping around. I'll definitely come to the gym.
Oh, yeah. Fair play. That is so cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, so that'd be cool because I'm able to get some cool, pictures and content. And I'm actually going to I'm going to try and set up my camera on the helmet because I've got the GoPro and all that kind of jazz.
I ain't no Charlie Borman. I am flat out just jealous. I'm sat here fuming now.
Well, you get to see it and see if you like it.
Yeah, man. No, that sounds pretty awesome. That is.
Yeah, really cool. I had so many good things happen this last week or so. I was because I had some really low points during this.
Yeah,
but I kind of fought through them and got really proactive. Got on my emails, got messaging people, started taking up opportunities that were given to me. And since then,
you're on it at the moment.
I've done really well. I've signed 2 new contracts. One with RDX Sports, which is a fightwear, is fantastic. So that's I'm representing all their training equipment on that. So we've got boxing gloves and stand-up bags, and it's made a massive difference to my training. Having that boxing bag downstairs inside the house to go on every morning is just the best thing. Also, they've got kettlebells and the sandbags, which I've been able to use for leg training. So I've been able to train legs a little bit better last couple of weeks because my legs are melting away through this. They've melted, mate. I reckon I've lost an inch off both legs.
Really?
Yeah, which is gutting for me because I'd just come back from that bad kind of knee and hip mechanism being all off. Oh, it's a glute thing, wasn't it? I had a bad glute, which fucked up my hip and my knee, not firing properly. And I'd managed to put some decent size back on my legs, which is just gone again instantly. So
it'll come back quick enough.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I reckon they should explode back on within 3 weeks. I reckon it'll look like a different pair of chicken drumsticks. Yeah. Not the drumsticks I need, but they'll look better anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I've had that, and then obviously, I randomly got another thing through with Rain, and I talked with them prior to lockdown, and that's come through as well. So I've got sponsored by Rain as well. Rain energy drinks. Yeah.
I love Rain. I do. I because we stock Rain at BCB.
I know.
And when we because it's owned by Monster, isn't it? They're the same company.
Yeah, so it's an umbrella company of Monster.
Yeah, and their Rain rep, who comes out, awesome guy, always looks after us, and then they're just so on the ball with everything, and they're like they just want you to be honest as well, and because we tried some stuff and it was like, no, I don't like that, and then we got a load of different stuff in, and
it's the best company can be.
Yeah.
Why would you not listen to people saying I don't like this?
Yeah, and just for a company that large, I was like, they actually give a shit. That's quite surprising, and Rain's really nice. So when we stock it, so we've got one fridge for Rain, one fridge for Monster, and I was die hard Monster lover, and then when Rain came in, then I actually switched over. So I pretty much was solely.
See,
on
for
Rain.
me, Monster was too much liquid for too little impact.
Yeah,
they were just too big. The cans are too big. There's only 180 milligrams of caffeine in the entire can, and the can's 8 liters big.
Yeah. See, I don't mind that. So I'll just I won't necessarily. I'm not going to chug it off before I start.
I don't
training,
see the point in it.
I'm training.
Because what's the point in sipping away slowly at something with only 180 milligrams of caffeine in it? I'd understand if there was 240 in it or something, and you'd sip at it, because even if you got through half of it, you'd had a decent double espresso.
Yeah.
But you've not. You have to drink the whole thing to have any impact. So what's the point? Because by the time you drink the whole thing, you're gassy, you're burpy.
Firstly, it's going to depend on... It's
pointless it being an energy drink. It does. Let's be honest. It doesn't work as an energy drink. It's too big.
It depends on your caffeine sensitivity. Obviously, you're not.
Well, I'm a normal human. I can drink coffee and not run around the house banging into walls.
But some people are more caffeine sensitive, so obviously there's that factor.
Again, they can just take a caffeine pill then and have...
Well, when I first started taking it, it would give me a bit of a lift, but then the more I drank it more consistently over time, then I got much more desensitized to caffeine.
Well, you will,
but then I suppose it's not even really that perceptive. I think if anything, it's more subperceptual. You just get that tiny little kick. You're not necessarily going to notice it in terms of feeling like you're going to vibrate off the fucking out the gym, but you'll just feel more awake.
But for me, the fizziness and everything of it just made it impossible to drink it as a purposeful energy drink.
Because that was meant to be like what Christian Guzman did, Up Energy, his version of Monsters, and apparently that they tasted very similar to Monster, but they were just less carbonated.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
so you can drink it faster.
Yeah,
it's like, why do you think that Lucozades and all that, a lot of their electrolyte drinks are just juice?
Yeah,
they're not fizzy.
They're sport ones are just flat.
They're just flat, so you can get them in. And that, for me, if I'm going to have an energy drink, it needs to be something that's going to replace a coffee before I go to the gym. That's going to be its purpose, drinking it on the way to the gym.
Yeah. At the moment, I just have a coffee.
And if I've done that with a Monster, by the time I get to the gym, I need to pee. I'm bloated. I'm burpy. I'm full of carbonated stuff. Yeah. No, it just didn't work for me. So, I'm excited to see what these are like. They're getting delivered to the house next week sometime. So,
Rain's a good one. I saw a noticeable bit more of a kick from a Rain than
the monster.
I'm not sure. I think
there's more caffeine in them.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think they changed it because initially they were like 250 or 300, and
initially they were over 300 milligrams.
Was it?
Which was too much.
Yeah, and I know that they dropped it back, and then
which is a good sign of a company.
Yeah.
They admit the mistakes. Like, yeah, that's too much. Okay, we'll bring it back.
There was one. I'm trying to think what it was. I'm sure it was like Celtec. You know, they did their pre-workout. They did like
there was a Rich Piana one, and his was 400 milligrams of caffeine in his pre-workout.
This is like retarded. This is like an actual canned pre-workout. Oh, right. I'm sure it was C4, like Celtec C4, or I think it was. Maybe. And it was. I like sweet things, but it was so sickly sweet, and it was like 400 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Just not enjoyable.
It was and like it was like drinking liquid marzipan. It was so sweet.
Yeah,
so
that's too much.
You could have like a sip, but then your whole mouth and teeth felt like they were coated.
Fairy teeth.
From one sip. So then trying to like...
And that was full of sweetener, not sugars.
Yeah, it was.
Which
is
even worse. How much sweetener was in that?
We got sent some for free. And we always like, if we get sent anything for free, we trial it before we put it out to our members, because obviously you're going to... And we gave them out to all the staff, and we had some, and we're like, I don't like it. And there's like, does anyone like it? And everyone was like, we don't like it
that's
either.
Crazy, isn't it? So how have they gone through all of their thing and had no one be like, no, this is too fucking sweet?
Yeah, because unanimously, everyone, all of our staff just were like, no, that's...
It baffles my mind, these people. And how much money had they ploughed into that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Stupid.
And it was just like... And it was because I also have this thing about, if I start something, I have to finish it, even if I don't like it. So I was just there like forcing my way down this.
I will finish.
And then I was like, I felt appalling as well, because there was just so much caffeine in, and it was just it was not nice. It was for me. Maybe some people that are like take pre-workout all the time, 400 milligrams might be like, oh, a fucking walk in the park. But for me, I was jittery. I just felt shit for it, and I had to actually force it down my throat because it was that syrupy and sweet.
Yes.
Not nice.
We've got onto that next one.
Yeah,
we've a tangent now.
Oh yeah, we've got massive tangent. Well, there's quite a few questions about Reckless, to be fair. I saw some about like, when's the drop happening? I know you already kind of answered that. Some people, there we go. We got somebody said, will you need influencer/model/friends to promote your clothing line? P.S. Supernut.
Supernut. No. It's going to just be all, we're going to have it, I don't know, we're going to do it like locally, keep it UK. Don't quite know the image on the website. I don't want so for those that are just tuning in, Reckless is a clothing line that I'm going to be launching this year. Obviously, COVID has fucked up our timelines on when we want things done. And we actually had a bit of a speed bump come up the way in terms of costings and stuff. So we're just... changing our groove, because I don't want to compromise, but I also don't want to have to charge people ridiculous amounts of money. So mine is having it made my way, but for the right costing. So we're looking like May, June. But it's such a slow process at the moment to get samples back and forth because of COVID. It's it's all dependent on that. Once the samples are through and they're to my liking, then boom, it's all go, But up to that point, I won't compromise. I won't allow a product to go out that's not as it should be. Because when I want these to arrive, I want people to put them on, I want them to fit really well, and you just put them on and they're just going to fit. You won't know why, but they're going to fit nice. So they're going to be as you expect them to be.
Just well thought out.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Noel from Gymshark about that, because when they got their gym, like there's, I don't know whether other people know. I don't know whether
they're lifting club.
There's a lot more other stuff that's in that unit. It's not just a gym.
It's a content unit.
Yeah.
So there's loads of like
filming studios,
photography studios.
They had the
certain light setups in there to create certain effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had the actual machining.
There's a podcast studio in there as well.
Yeah, they had the machining stuff that made the materials. Did you see that? And they'd like make the tube for the top
for the t-shirts,
and so they'd be able to test out cuts, because they were saying like, as of now for them, like when they'd get an idea, they'd send it off to manufacturer, it'd get manufactured, get sent back, they'd make changes, go back, and each send back and forth would maybe a week or two. So like a whole process may take a month, and then
it's slow.
Then that 1 month process then got turned down to 3 days because they could literally do it, change it, do it, change it, do it, change it.
And then send a sample to them,
which is like makes so much more sense because they weren't manufacturing there, but that was purely for samples.
Yeah.
And it was just such a smart idea, and I was like, I never really thought about that and how
scale that they had huge issues when they would have companies say they can make a certain product, send them things, and then it turned out that they just could not make it. And this is a problem with a lot of manufacturers. They'll say yes to stuff, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah, they'll say yes and figure it out as they
try
go.
And figure it out, and that happened a couple of times. I know in Gymshark's men's stuff, especially. So a lot of it got really badly delayed because of false promises from the manufacturers. Yeah. So I think they're bypassing that now by creating their own samples to be like, can you replicate this? Yeah. And if they can't, then that's like
I suppose that
rather than waiting for them to try and make it.
Well, I suppose if we're like, we can make it here, so why can't you make it there?
Yes, yeah. Like, but they've obviously that even it's crazy though that such a big company can still have those issues, and they were still having those issues up until like 2 years ago. Definitely, they were still going on where like a manufacturer would do really well for one run, and then screw up another line completely because they would just change the machinery or change wherever it was made or something like that.
Yeah, I think it happens on all scales, doesn't it? We've just literally with like our BCB clothing, we've just had something and they've sent everything out and they were like, there's a few sizes that ended up being out of stock. I was like, why didn't you tell us that when we've placed the order? Because like we'd have because we've already got our timeline of how we were doing everything.
It's bizarre, isn't it? That people do this. It's like they want to get your business in and then once they've captured you, give you the bad news. Yeah. And that's not a good way to get repeat custom.
Yeah. No, not at all. No, not at all.
So to answer the question, basically we're hoping for May, June, with the Reckless line. And it's coming along. I'm currently in talks, going through, I'm back. We're basically back to me creating the paper stencils and things for stencils is the wrong word. What are they? Patterns. The paper patterns for making the t-shirts with the measurements and the specific tailored cuts and everything. It's come back down to me doing that because what I wanted done wasn't done the way I wanted it. So
could you have a trip out to wherever they go?
Yeah, I mean that will be one of the plans. Will eventually be to go out to kind of like wherever it is that the certain things are made, because there's different places, different things. So some are kind of Malaysia or Indonesia and things like that. Others are obviously China, but a lot of people have bad things to say about China, but China is as good as you get from there. Yeah. Now I have contacts out there, and they go to markets and literally source the materials I want. I'm so detailed that I even talk to them about the stitching that must go in, the type of stitching that goes in. And a lot of people who get things made there don't go into that depth, and then wonder why they get through basic finishes on stuff. Well, they will do what you ask. You just got to ask them. They will take no initiative, and that's what people don't understand. So I have really good contacts out there, and she's very good, and she understands what we need. So I'm pushing. I'm trying. It's a lot more work.
I think going out, like eventually, that's the way to do it. I know that.
Plus, I want to see Hong Kong.
Of course. Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
And I talked to so Wolverson's an equipment company that we've worked closely with the gym, and I became quite friendly with the owner, Jason. And Jason's all, because they like some stuff's made in the UK, some stuff's made in China, some stuff's made all over the place.
Wolverson kit is, if you want to build serious home gym, that's some sick kit.
Yeah, it's super heavy duty stuff.
Yeah, really good.
And like Jason's super thorough with everything that they get in, because like especially right now with lockdown, there's been so many little companies popping up that are like and they've used
banging out that, what's it called, like raw, not even raw, what's it called, compounded like metal. It's not real steel or anything like that. It's
basically people buying in cheap shit and capitalizing on this, and like Jason's refused to just like bend to the will, and he's out of stock almost all the time at the moment because he only will get in what's good, and he won't put out shitty products. And so like Jason's always traveling over there, and he always like sends me clips from their factory, like sending me like videos if I've mentioned something to him, because as well, if I'll talk to him about something, he'll start like researching into it, and then he'll like try to find something that I wanted, and he'll like send me clips from different factories, and he was like the rope somewhere where like they were making the rope
machine into the gym.
And so they're just like looking into all the processes and super thorough. And then even when they do eventually get it, even if he's happy with it over there, what they tend to do a lot of the time, they'll give it to, there's me and a couple of other gyms that they work very closely with, and they'll just give us something and be like, try to break that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we're like, okay, I can do that. And then we just have a load of like mutants like doing some crazy heavy deadlifts on a bar or something, like try and bend it, try and break it. Yeah,
that's really clever.
But and we've had stuff and we're like, no, it's not held up. And then they're like, okay,
it's down to the details, and this is what I mean. Like when you create something, it doesn't have to be like clothing's been done. Clothing's been done. Nobody's reinventing the wheel with clothing, but what most clothing is basic at the moment.
Yeah.
Because people just go for a design. They go for They go for visual over substance kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that when you put the fine details in, it's like if I find something like these Levi's crafted jeans, for example, they only make limited numbers of these, but they are amazing quality. And you buy them and you're like, oh, I need to get some more of these before they're not available again. And that's the vibe I want.
Yeah.
You put it on, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be with me for a good few years, and still hanging in there.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell, can't you, when you put something on, it's good quality, it's a good fit. I had it with these joggers, so these aren't, so my original pair that I bought like a couple of weeks ago, put them on and I'm like, fuck, I really struggled to find joggers that fit me.
And these are good. So
these are good. They washed brilliantly. So I bought another 2 pairs of different
that's
colours.
what I want. I want people to get something, they put it on, they go, oh, and they go, want it again.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to get the same one again.
Yes.
So once they're gone, they're gone. Next lines that come out are going to be same cuts and fits, but different styles.
Yeah.
So it gives you that uniqueness then as well.
Yeah, but you know that at least if you go back to them, it's still gonna have be the same quality and the same fit.
And sometimes companies lose that, and you see it. Like for example, and this is a daft example, ASOS is obviously a shotgun tactics company.
Yeah.
But for every so often, they will release a really cool set of jeans or something like that. And I bought a pair of jeans from there once, and it turned up, and I didn't expect much from it, and it turned out to be one of my favourite fits of jeans.
Yeah.
And it's actually what I'm basing some of my cuts off, is this style of cut, just a better quality, because these jeans ripped through within 6 months because of the niche. But I ordered the jeans again.
Yeah.
Complete different fit.
Really?
It's the same pair of jeans, still on the website now. I've ordered them twice more, both times a different fit. Now that's really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad, because they're a very specific tapered cut and fit. And so for them to arrive, they arrived with different distressing than they should have.
Yeah.
Which is the whole part, the purpose of the way I like them was because of the distressing, and the taper was not as good on both of the new sets. It was too wide.
Yeah.
So then it fit completely different. So I was like, that can't happen. Because now I won't. That immediately irks me, and I won't go back.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. That's the difference.
No, it's just been well thought out, isn't it? I think
details matter.
There was another question as well, kind of linked, not necessarily. Someone was asking about the BCB clothing, and I did kind of briefly mention it, but you're seeing me wearing one of the t-shirts right now.
Tube,
if you
that's
are
really
on
nice,
YouTube,
and that's army green, isn't it?
Got a big print on the back, and it's a slight variation of our original logo. We've got this in 3 different colours. I can tell you this now because this won't be posted until Monday, and we are announcing this on Sunday, so you'll have already known the day before.
Well, you can go and look at the announcement so you can see the pictures.
The aim is for next Saturday, so Saturday coming up, so fairly close. Yeah.
Lovely. Right, next question.
That is that. Yes.
What we got?
Do you wash your legs in the shower?
Do I wash my legs in the shower? Do you know, I have to remember to do it, but I do it.
Yeah, they're like the forgotten body.
It is, yeah. You kind of get all your top bit done, you go, oh shit, yeah.
I forgot I've got these legs.
Yeah, legs need doing. Feet. Wash your feet in the shower as well. Get in between those toes.
Have you seen you can get that? I've been wanting to get them for ages. It's almost like basically like a brush, but it's on suction cup, so it'll sit on the base of your shower with bristles, so you can just rub your foot up against it, and it'll like basically scrub your feet without you having to like bend down and do them yourself.
You don't want to bend down. Well, this is where you're at in life now.
Do you know what? You have to bend down in the shower. Oh, well, my God, you've got to bang your head.
It's the same one, and you can have it on the wall. So if you can't reach your mid back, which I can't,
you just get a back scrubber.
Yeah, I know, but then you can just do that like a bear.
Like Baloo.
Yeah, like a bear. So, I don't know. I'm going to get one, and I'll let everyone know if it's actually as good as it seems. Because I saw that, and I was just like, oh, that'd save me time bending down.
There's nowhere I can put that in my shower to be able to do that.
Like suction cup it to like the tiles or anything?
But I have a little basket full of crap that's already suction cupped to the wall, and I don't think I could fit another suction cup area.
You put it on the door, and then the door pops open.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
ideal.
Maybe don't do that then. But
Yeah.
if you can fit it on the wall, then I don't know. Let me try it for you.
Yeah, the bash.
So we've got quite a few people asking about the film. Are you watching the film purely based on your love of Aquaman?
Do you know what? Momoa does a really good job of taking a crap character and making him cool again. Because
Yes.
Aquaman was probably he was lame,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah. And they've managed to make him pretty cool.
Yeah.
But my only gripe with Aquaman through the film is he's very negative.
Yeah, he's a grumpy.
He's very
a
grumpy and cranky. And I don't know when this is meant to be set time based. Are we supposed to have? Because he still hasn't taken the mantle of being the king, has he, at this point? But the Aquaman movie was fucking brilliant. Other than the Power Ranger baddie, which was diabolically bad suit. Like, I wish they should have got rid of that giant head and scaled it down. But the movie itself was beautifully done. Like, there was so much more good than there was bad in it.
Yeah.
That it was one of the better ones that they did from that series. I'm looking forward to the sequel of that.
I like how, in a weird way.
I watched it for Batman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I love Affleck as this brooding tank of a Batman,
Yeah,
like
he's
the
a
angry
unit.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no longer this like stealthy ninja. He's just a fucking warhorse,
Yeah, yeah.
and I really like that.
Yeah. For me, it was just everything altogether, and also it was kind of the excitement of seeing like the director being let loose, and like, this is what it was meant to have been. That's why I found it.
Yeah.
One thing I did really like about Aquaman is how little he was in his like full outfit.
Yeah, he must have been in jeans and boots, just topless.
Well, there was
No
one bit,
fucks
he was
given.
just like, there was a full fight scene underwater, and he was
in
literally,
jeans?
he was just in jeans, no socks or shoes or top. He was just in jeans, ripped jeans, and he was just there like fighting off. So casual.
I love the way they've given him that angle, like the way when he comes, he saves that sailor, but then walks in pissed that he's had to do it. Like dumps him on the table as he walks in, grabs a bottle of whiskey and is like, it's on him, and then fucks off.
He's very like that Wolverine kind of anti-hero, like the reluctant hero. He doesn't want to ever take that mantle, but he does it because he can, and he's got a good heart.
Yeah,
and I think Momoa does play that very well, and
he does open up towards the end.
Yeah,
he becomes much more like less negative and way better. Like I just think there's certain little points in his dialogue are a little bit just too like you're 3 hours into the film and he's still very cranky about the whole situation. Yeah, and a bit like he's very brooding. But no, he's very like there is a bit. So a little kick back into the film. A little kick back to the director.
We got another question about it as well.
Well, Snyder is he has done some bad movies in terms of, and he was Batman vs Superman is a prime example of this. He's known for his moments, isn't he? These sequences in films where you get these big impactful moments. But sometimes what he's lacked is context in between the moments. Yeah. And it feels like the whole film is just a build to the next moment. And that's not what the Justice League has been. In between the moments was good film, topped off by these extraordinary moments. Yeah. Whereas Batman vs Superman there was no the context between the moments was lost. There was no real movie there. So I think what they've done with building the characters, and I saw it massively with Flash and Aquaman in this movie, is those cut sequences where it's their brooding moments or their backstories were really impactful and make you really appreciate the characters even more. And so with Momoa, we got that with that bit where he stood on the end of the pier. Yeah, and he's just reluctantly saved that sailor from dying.
And he's
downing a bottle of whiskey, and he just throws it into the ocean and just stands and lets the ocean take him. Yeah. It's just a fucking amazing moment. The music's perfect. It's slow mode. He looks fucking savage. Yeah, and you've just basically in a single scene completely changed everyone's notion of what Aquaman is. And you've now this character from just generation onwards is now going to see that as Aquaman, and that's a cool motherfucker. Yeah. Whereas this blonde-haired, orange suit-wearing piece of crap from before, like so different.
Momoa had a tall task in making Aquaman cool.
Yeah, and to take it on, fair play to him.
Yeah. Like when somebody
to have that confidence, just be like, I can make that shit guy cool.
To be fair, even the name Aquaman's still a bit like, ugh.
But when you think of them all, they're all stupid. The Batman. Yeah. Like, it's just so on the nose. He's a man who looks like a bat. Superman, he's a man who's super. Like, it shouldn't work, but it just does.
Yeah, no, a fair point, to be honest.
Yeah.
But all right, there's another question about the film.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'll leave this one. I'll leave this one.
It is a
as
big
the
thing
last
that's
one.
happened this week. So,
So what is your favourite part of the film?
My favourite part of the film. Okay, right. Favourite thing that they've changed is the main bad guy's biotech armour. Completely night and day difference in the way you perceive the main villain in the film. He is...
Well, his face is different as well,
his face, his everything. Like, they've restructured his cranium and everything. But he is, like, fully believable. Like, I'm not a big fan of computer-generated bad guys. I think a lot of the time it's lost. And in the first original, I completely had no link to, like, no bond with that character whatsoever. He was just a big he looked like something from a PlayStation game. It didn't look, because they dulled him down so much. He was almost wearing a fucking robe, for God's sake. In this one, he's a fucking warlord.
Yeah, he's
very believably violent. His power is believable. I was fully invested.
Yeah, that biotech armor. It's almost like it's just everything. It was like it's overlaid spikes that all moved independently.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, like a titanium looking metal that breathes and moves with him.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like imagine chainmail, but instead of chain links,
living chainmail.
Yeah, but they were like spike fibers.
It could develop. It was like, but they were all made of sharp points where they would lay down and then they'd pring back up. But it was. But when he spoke and when he got angry, the suit got angry with him.
Yeah, like flared.
Yeah,
there was one scene in it which was sick when he had like a load of arrows fired into him.
Let's not ruin it. You can't say it, but the way he gets rid of the arrows isn't the way you expect, and it just makes you go, "Oh, motherfucker!" Right. It lets you know how the suit is working for him.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool. So,
it's a very small moment in the movie, but it's those little details.
Yeah.
Because what you expect it for him to do, he doesn't do.
Yeah,
it's better. It was. Than what you expect.
It was cool, and you're just like, "Oh shit, he's badass."
So my favorite part in the movie, there's so many good parts. Do you know what? This is a bit bizarre, but I'm going to say the Amazonian fight against him when they're trying to protect the mother stone, the mother box
towards the start,
at the towards the beginning, because it's so emotional, and you can see them literally fighting for their lives.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, and awesome. You see his sheer power, and it's the first time you see him cut someone in half, like just as if they're nothing, like just kills, and I think honestly that sets the tone for the rest of the movie. And those women in that scene, the way they get the emotion across the screen when they're trying to protect each other is phenomenal.
Yeah, and how that scene wraps up as well.
Yeah, it leaves. Yeah, it's huge. Really, really. Yeah, honestly, I think that was because it sets up the rest of the film.
That's it was a really like, it sets the tone, and you're like, oh shit, this isn't a kid's film.
Suffering and loss.
Yeah, it makes you very aware that this is for adults.
And that bit that happens that I won't say, when just as I was saying, how did they expect that to? And then you go, oh,
yeah. We both said
all those moments in the original film. We were like, well, that was stupid.
Yeah.
They're all fixed.
Yeah,
and it makes sense. Yeah. When you watch it now, it makes sense.
I'm really struggling to think what my favourite was because there is so many great scenes. I really liked the scene. Were they in a bank with all the school children?
Again, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was really
strong
cool
in this movie, man.
Yeah, really cool. And like the bit where she's like,
just
defending.
Again, that's shot differently.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah, everything. It was like, I don't know. There was so much tension.
The guy who's holding up the bank is not that aggressive in the original one. They cut out that line where he says like lambs to slaughter, and he's put it on single shot, and he's about to cap each one individually. He's that sadistic, isn't he? Yeah. He's not even got the gun on automatic. Yeah. He's going to do each one by one. There's those moments which were removed because obviously were deemed too aggressive in the original. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, they were.
So then when she comes in into that scene for protection, it's so much more gravitas to it because of how evil he was going to be,
and how she
how she ends that scene. You will not expect it.
Yeah, how she finishes it off, savage, and then instantly just switches to being like just to looking after like the kids,
straight
and
away.
It was just perfect. It was like it was just done really, really well.
Really
I just thought balance. That was just made her like such a well-rounded character.
She leveled up massively in this film. Like, if they need to make her next movies like this one, they really do.
100%.
I'm looking forward to a Ben Affleck Batman movie. I love him.
Do you think they're gonna do more though? Because obviously
I do now that now they've been given this leeway.
Yeah,
I think because look, Affleck had left the entire. He was meant to direct another movie.
Yeah.
First of all, he was meant to star in his own Batman movie. He backed out of that. Then when Justice League was released, he backed out from even directing a movie under Warner Brothers because he was that pissed. And since they've brought the Snyder Cut back out, he's now back in as Batman and back in supposedly to do more with that Bat character.
Wow.
So whether it be within another Justice League movie or hopefully his own standalone.
That'll be interesting.
Because it would be, I'm hoping it would go through the Robin getting killed part of his backstory.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen that in a movie yet.
No, that'll be very, very interesting to see how they go down.
And he's perfect for it because he's so, like, angry.
Yeah. I think, right, we'll leave it at that for the film. There's been so much. All right.
It has to be, though. It's such a huge thing that's been done this week. Like, obviously, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, of course. So we got a couple of training ones. This is something that I think potentially we might disagree on. I'm not sure. So this is like training to failure, yes or no?
Training to failure. It depends what you... Right, yes. So I agree to training to technical failure. I don't agree to training to twisting your body, get the fucker up by any means failure. Yeah. That's not failure. That's just fucking up.
Yeah. At a certain point, you're not even doing the same movement.
Nah, you're just compensating, bringing in loads of other muscle groups and shifting, not lifting anymore. Training to failure, you 100% shouldn't be doing it all the time because your CNS... Right, here's the problem, right? When you watch... Training to failure came from the bodybuilding era, didn't it? You know, but those guys are geared up. And what you need to understand by guys who are on a different chemical level, their bodies are no longer responding in the same hormonal avenues as your body would normally. So they're able to recover much more rapidly. That allows them to train to failure each session because their body is being exogenously aided in being able to recover from that session. If you train to failure every time without the use of steroids or performance enhancing, what do they call it?
Drugs? PEDs.
Is it drugs?
Yeah.
Does that work?
PEDs.
My brain just won't take that then.
Yeah.
PEDs? Yeah, it is. Performance enhancing drugs, yeah. If you're not taking those and you train to failure every time, you will beat your central nervous system down so far that you will actually reduce hormone output and your ability to lift and progress and be progressive in your training will diminish over time. So it has to be way more structured. But with that, just because you can do something if you're on performance enhancing doesn't mean you still should.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you still, even on performance enhancing drugs, should not be trained to failure every single week, every single session.
No. I think there's a lot of factors to it as well. So exercise selection is going to play.
Did you think I would say, go to failure all the time?
I didn't think you were going to say go to failure all the time, but I thought you'd probably be more of a proponent of more going to failure than I would.
No,
so,
I think it just increases injury risk massively. As well.
It does massively.
So you got double negative from it.
Yeah,
really.
So you've got two factors with the CNS kind of aspect because exercise selection is going to play a huge role in it. So if you go to failure on a leg press is a whole different animal to going to failure on squats.
Yes.
Like that or going to failure on deadlift. Something that's extremely CNS taxing is like a full body movement.
Big compound lift.
And I'm not saying that a leg press is easy by any means, but from a purely central nervous system point of view, as you're not bearing the load under your entire body, you're not literally getting crushed by a load. It takes away a whole element of coordination or balance. You are just driving, you're just pushing through. So that is going to mean that you can recover from going to failure on leg press way quicker than you would.
That's very true. It is very exercise dependent. So overall, let's answer the question then. So for me, I would say do it on. This is how I would do it. I had a 3-week kind of rotational thing, and 1 week would be like heavy failure. Then the next week would be a 80% kind of week, and then the week afterwards would be more of a volume, and then I would recycle.
So for me, I would never intentionally go to failure on anything like a big compound lift, squat, bench, deadlift, anything that's going to really tax you.
And by that you mean leaving one in the tank?
I would say that not always, sometimes leaving less than that. It all depends on how the program's structured over the long term, because sometimes what's
your non-failure idea then? Because if you're not leaving one in the tank, surely that's to failure then, is it?
No, sorry. I mean, that's the most I would go. So like, I either use like RPE, so that's rate of perceived exertion. So an RPE 9 means you've got 1 in the tank. An RPE 8 would be you've got 2 in the tank, or an 8.5 might mean that you've got 1 in the tank with potentially a tiny bit more weight. Or something like, so look at RPE, or there's another system called RIR, which is reps in reserve, which is a more simplified version.
Yeah.
But like a lot of, especially strength training, will be structured around hitting RPE, so you don't really want to, because especially when you're talking about strength, because the technical execution of the movement is really important. If you start getting, even within a couple of reps of failure, if there's technical breakdown, theoretically you are reinforcing bad habits with that
100%,
training.
because you're going to be in compensation movements, and then you will basically instill that bad mechanism of movement into your training, which happens so frequently.
Yeah. So I would avoid going to failure on any of those movements unless it happens by accident, obviously. And then if you wanted to just test and max something out, then fair enough doing it.
But you would only do a max test like once every 6 weeks
at the most.
Yeah. So I think what we can say is overall, on your huge compounds, finish with 1 in the tank. Always don't go past that point. If not, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to increase weight, finish with it like 2 in the tank before you're putting the weight up. So only finish that 1 in the tank on your max weight kind of thing. Isolations, take them to the burn. Like bicep curls, cable movements, take them to the burn. But a technical failure. So that means once you're not able to lift a movement in the technical range of motion that you should keep it in,
when you do
that's
thrust.
Failure. You failed at that point. That's when you stop.
Don't just keep hip thrusting the bar to start getting it up so you can actually curl it. Then are you training your glutes or you're training your biceps?
And you could that's really good. You don't need to do that on rotation. That's a really good basis to get training on. So those heavy compounds, leave at least one or 2 in the tank, and then on the isolations, take them to the burn, but technical burnout.
I was going to say, there's very minimal fatigue, like CNS fatigue from like a bicep curl.
And you will grow from not taking compound movements to failure.
100%.
Because you're going to get more out of every set that you do, because you're not burning yourself out and ending up doing compensation movements.
Have a look.
Activate more.
If you want to know more about it, have a look for this guy called Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, and he's like, he does loads of research into strength training or like athletic training and hypertrophy training, and things like this, like rep ranges and how close to failure and how many sets, is stuff that he looks into like heavily, and it's been really like detailed research put into it. And effectively, most people, you don't have to do half as much as what you think you need to do. Like
sometimes it can feel when you do a proper strength training program that you've not done enough that session, like because you're used to going to a burn. I remember feeling that massively. But oh my god, did I see the weights move up and up and up?
Like
feel smoother.
Because I think like when they show it, there is so going to complete failure, there is, for that single session, there is ever so slightly increased amount of hypertrophy that can occur from that single session, but the stress that will carry over to your next session and the session after that and the session after that, progress, which will be worse. So over the long term, you actually make worse progress. So, and like there's loads of evidence as well. So from like when people always ask like how many sets should I perform, like 50-60% of the hypertrophy you're going to get for that movement happens on your first set, and then on your second set it's diminished to like 20%, then on your third set you're getting like 10%, and in your fourth set you're getting like 3 or 4%. Like, so at what point is it worth doing 10 sets to get that 100% when you've had to do 10 sets and you've fucking knackered and you're going to struggle to recover? Like, you could have just called it at 3, got to like 80%, and then felt fresh and good and gone again a couple of days later.
Everything, when it comes to training and lifting, you have to factor in longevity, because time, and I can't stress this enough, time is what gives you the most gains. Consistency over time. So if you're lifting and maxing out all the time and getting hurt all the time, I guarantee you're not going to make progressions, because you're constantly being held back with injuries, constantly being held back with being knackered and tired. So you've got to play the long game. It's just, stop looking at these bullshit motherfuckers advertising stuff like 8-week this and 12-week that. It's fucking years, guys. Don't look at stuff in weeks. Look at it in months and years. That's realistic. And I'm not being mean saying that. That's not me being a dick. That's nature. It's how we're designed. It's how you will do better. You can ignore me and carry on. And I carry the person who doesn't ignore me and pays attention to that one sentence will look better than you in 2 years' time. Don't
get me wrong as well, though. You can still make change in a shorter period of time. what really is the life-changing shit is the accumulation of that. Like, if you can form the habit in, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, whatever.
Yeah, and then maintain it for another 52.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you want to keep that going, keep the ball rolling. Like,
that's what, because you can make a change in a short time, but that change will not last.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Keep it up,
you have to. Yeah, you can see it. People will be like, "Well, I did this in 8 weeks." Yeah, you did, but then what happened in the 20 weeks afterwards? Did you maintain it? No, probably you dropped off, did this and that, because you go intense for that 8 weeks. Yeah. It was so intense that then you crash off the other end.
Yeah. The goal is forming the habits and making these realistic,
smaller benefits over longer periods of time. That's what's going to carry through, and that's why when we have these problems like lockdowns and things are suddenly taken away, those that have put in the time and effort to create the real muscle, I call it real muscle, because when you get that short-term gain, like right now when I go back to the gym after lifting here, I'm going to blow up.
Yeah.
Like, I know I am, because I've basically had 2 years of a shoulder injury, which has now healed, and I haven't been able to go back to gym properly because we got put into COVID as my shoulder's healed. And even in the time my shoulder's healed being at home, I look better now because I'm able to do more upper movements. I'm able to box again properly. I couldn't even throw a punch 12 months ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't throw a jab. It was so painful. I know I'm going to blow up, but if I go back in, blow up over like the next 6 to 8 weeks, and then just back off, I will go straight back to what I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because you have to, once you see that gain, you have to dig it in, grind it in, and make it part of you. And that only happens over time. And that's what people don't understand. So yeah, you can make a change in 12 weeks, but if you don't keep that change up, it will literally go back to where you were.
Yeah, you got to form the habit.
Yeah. Cool.
So, another question was, it's an interesting one, I suppose. It's just like, how do you make your own program? It's like, it's quite a broad question. And first, like, my first thought.
Here's my first thought: is why?
Yeah, that's literally.
Why would you make your own program when there's been researched and documented programs that you can just Google for free?
Yeah, there is so many free, very good programs.
Thousands, probably thousands of free programs you can just try.
So when saying like why, because I think as well, if somebody gets a personal trainer and their personal trainer looks after them, that's different because they're objectively looking at you as somebody who's worked with tons of people who can identify your weak spots.
Yeah.
Doing it for yourself is very difficult to train yourself objectively, especially with no emotional bias in there. And you will always bias towards the things that you like to do opposed to what you need to do. Yeah. And often they're the exact opposite thing.
That's what and what you need is to be told to do more on those weak spots, and that's not what you're going to do for yourself. So basically take a program, go find a good program. Why would you just buy one from somebody who you trust, who looks a certain way? You understand what they're saying as being truthful and not bullshit, and they're not enhanced up to the fucking eyeballs. Well, if they are enhanced, but look at the way they're doing it. If they're not, like, if everything they're is about max out failure.
Well, it depends on what that person is. If this person is enhanced, I don't know if they are.
But even, again, my argument is...
a similar situation.
Yeah, basically. But my argument, again, is even if they are enhanced, they should still train the same way as an unenhanced person, because you're still going to get the same benefits, just to a greater degree.
To a certain extent. I think there is going to be...
I don't see the point in beating your nervous system down just because it can heal back up.
Yeah.
You're still fucking it up. Yeah. Unnecessarily.
I think... From my understanding of it, people that are enhanced can get away with less frequency and get away with slightly more volume, whereas people that are natural, better to dial the volume back in an individual session and hit it maybe twice a week. It's
the same principle of going into a show. Yeah. Like natty guys, like, do not dehydrate. Worst thing you can do, you look flat and stringy. Yeah. All the things that you do as a natty guy to go on stage. There's no reason that the enhanced guys shouldn't follow the exact same protocol, because all they're going to do, you're still going to get the same reaction, because what they do is they dehydrate and flush the body with diuretics, which is retarded. That's how you get a stroke. Yeah. But like, there's no reason for them to do it because they think that's going to make them look dry, and dry is the worst word to use in this sentence. Like, it's dehydrated. Like, it's stupid. So even like if they did the same protocol as a natty guy of staying hydrated, elevating their salt just before they go on the stage, and then the diet being the fueling factor of how the body changes, like on the day you eat a certain thing at certain times, their system would do exactly the same, just to a greater degree. So they would look even better. So because what's happening is the errors they're making in their stupid stage prep where they dehydrate 3 days before, it's the drugs that are buffering them looking flat and stringy. So if they didn't dehydrate and stayed full and tight, and then let the drugs do the work on top, they would look even more insane. So my only thing with you is just to make sure if the person you're following is an enhanced human being, that their training isn't based on that, as in like failure all the time, do this to death,
Yeah.
Make sure it looks like it's structured with pullbacks and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's progression built into it. That is the one thing to look for, especially as a natural, is some form of progression.
Yeah.
You're either you're doing more work over time, so that's more sets, more reps, more total volume, more intensity. But then also there's deloads built in there as well, so you're not just constantly hammering.
There should always be some form of where there is less focus on weight at some point, and if there's not that in the system, then it's there's something not right.
Yeah, there's a bit of a flaw to the system.
There's a flaw to the system.
Or the program is only meant to be ran for a short period of time, such as like a 6-week block, and then you can't repeat it, or you do it and you have to.
But again, then we're getting
deload.
even deeper into specialisation, aren't we? So really, that's not what a lot of people are selling.
No, not at all. That's the thing.
So yeah,
I think that a good structured program should have that all built into it, so it theoretically could be ran indefinitely.
Yeah. So. And we did have one hard-hitting question. We've got 3 minutes left. And I wanted to leave it to the end because we've only got 3 minutes to cover it, so we can't go too deep. And it's the whole thing about the girl who was found murdered because she couldn't walk home.
Yeah.
And we're assuming that she was attacked in a not very nice way by some awful human being.
Yeah.
And it was, what was the question?
I'm just going to try and find it now. It's something along the lines of, thoughts on, in quotes, all men being rapists and murderers and making women uneasy.
Okay. So, I think... Basically, whenever something bad happens and there's a movement, everything goes way too far to the left. And this happened with the Black Lives Matter thing. They lost all context in their actual argument and it became a fucking business. They had a really good, a real problem that they wanted to solve, and it got completely bastardized, and now everyone's sick of it because it turned into just a saying that everyone's now sick of seeing, and it then became something about there not being too many black people in movies. Like, what you want about?
Yeah,
that's not the problem. We're talking about
watered down.
It completely it undermined their real movement, which is now. I mean, what do you hear about it now? Nothing. I think demonizing all men is absolutely wrong, and it's just people lashing out in a moment of anger. And I think over time, it's definitely something that we need to pay attention to. And obviously, we've only got a minute and a half to cover this, and this is all I'm going to say on the subject is, not only women have to text their mates to say, "Let me know you've got back home okay."
Yeah.
Everybody who cares about anybody makes sure they should get home okay. And yes, women walking home on their own alone are more vulnerable to men walking home on their own because they're not as strong, they can't fight as well. That is a general rule, and biology dictates that. Unfortunately, the world is full of nasty human beings, and we're never going to rid the world of these evil humans. We are just hearing more about it in the news than we have before. That is the only difference. The numbers and the danger of it is probably actually less than it used to be a long time ago. Like, numbers in murders, even though we hear more about it and everything, actually have dropped. So just don't believe all the propaganda about how everyone's evil, you can't walk in there and do everything. It's just the fact that when it happens, we hear more about it.
Yeah, everyone be careful. Still do these things. I think that they're safe practices. And although, obviously it'd be amazing if we lived in a world where we didn't have to text somebody to let us know we got home safe. But unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in. And not all men are obviously like that.
Personally, we at uni never let a girl go home on her own. One of us went back with her, even in the taxis.
Yeah, 100%.
And unfortunately, we have to do that because that is preempting it. That is helping stop these things happen. It's not letting someone walk home on their own, whether they be male or female.
And unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to be stopped. There's always going to be that 0.01% that would be a murderer.
How about YouTube? You're going to black out in about
10 seconds. YouTube. I'm going to keep going here. There's always going to be that one tiny percentage of people. There's always been murderers. There's always been people that their psychology is different to the majority, and even if there's one in however many billions of people, that's still worth us being cautious and checking on your family, checking on your friends when they get home.
I think it's a very sad and aggressive reminder, and I think it's good that it's been given such attention in the news because 100%. I think it's a lack of our funding of the police, which has caused this problem, because it allows people to free roam and be less cautious and be more opportunistic and things like that. It's also a nature of the fact that we're increasing our population over every year. It's increasing, and we're going to be, with every increasing population, we're going to get these people who have disorders. And this is what it is. These people who attack and murder have chemical imbalances. There is usually histories to them that create the person that they are.
Yeah.
It's not somebody who on a random night has just gone from being a normal human to doing this. They've usually built up to become something that most of us will never be.
Yeah, it's like, I would put money on it that the vast majority of men would be completely like sickened with the idea of what's going on.
The vast majority of men would defend that woman to their own detriment.
Yeah, 100%.
If they saw it happening.
Yeah.
I know I would. I've done it before. Like I've run in and clouted somebody who's been attacking a lady, and you often get hit by the lady in return because it's a very bizarre situation. But I'd still rather that happen and me have done my part.
Yeah, know that she was okay.
And know, well, I tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Ladies, please don't start like lashing out at men who are in no way like this.
Yeah.
And don't start taking somebody who is a manly man and start accusing them of what is it, male something they call it. I can't think what it is.
Toxic
masculinity. What? Fuck off with this. Like, listen, just because I would be described as being toxically masculine, I think, because I very much believe, like, when I'm walking with a girl, I have them walk on the inside of the pavement, not because that's where women go, but because my grandfather, as a child, would have me walk on the inside of the pavement, and he told me I asked him one time, why do I always walk? He says, because whenever I walk with you or a lady, I walk on the outside and you walk on the inside, so that if anything happens, like a car comes on the curb, I can push you out the way and you're safe.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. That's not toxic masculinity. That is a beautiful thing. That is caring. That is protectiveness.
Yeah.
That is not something to be shunned. And stop. Here you go. Don't shun men from being protective in nature. Like, allow that. That's a nice thing. Don't say that that's toxic masculinity. And that's the problem when things go too far left, that you start critiquing any man for being manly. That's not a good thing.
That's the amazing thing, like the beauty of the world, without being, the fact that everyone is so different, and 100% equality is that, like, there should never be judgment based on somebody because of a gender or a race or anything else.
No.
But also, we can't demonise the fact that people are different, and that's men, women, like different races, whatever else. There is diversity, and that's great. That's like a good thing.
In the moment, what we have a problem with is people trying to make gender and everything a communistic. Is that a word? They're trying to make it like communism. They're trying to make. They're trying to argue that everything is equal and everyone's equal. No, it's not, and the world would be a really shit place if it was.
If everything was the same,
it would be terrible. Of course, there's difference between me and you.
Yeah,
there's differences. So to ignore those differences is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's bafflingly stupid. So I just think we're going to hear a lot from the wrong type of people, and we're going to lose sight of the issue here. And the issue here is that we need more policing on the streets, and we need more like neighborhood watches and people to be aware, and communities to come together to make sure that places are safe. We need, and that's not happening. You get places in London especially, the neighbours don't even know who their neighbour, like neighbours don't talk to each other. No. Nobody knows who lives next door to them. That's really sad. And these are all things that we can work to improve on, that are going to make entire neighbourhoods and environments safer as a fact, because everyone's got an eye out for everyone else.
I think as well, this is maybe just popped into my head, but some kind of way of educating teachers to be more aware of psychological, like kind of identifying early signs of certain things, and so people could maybe get spoken to sooner and get some help.
You mean
sooner.
Like abused kids and stuff like that?
Yeah, so that basically some of these, people that do these horrific things tend to have had really horrific things happen to them.
A lot of them suffer brain damage of some form in minor levels because they've got been beaten as children. I read a thing on serial killers, and they all suffered the same frontal lobe damage.
Yeah.
And it was a trait, and you can get some people who were normal human beings involved in car accidents, suffer frontal lobe damage and become homicidal.
Yeah.
From it, it's an
not...
imbalance in the functioning of the brain.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. Like, not every guy that you see in the street is looking to jump, attack, and rape you. That's not how it is. The most guys who you see in the street are probably someone like me who's just looking at you, is going to say good evening and make sure you're,
always trying to say
if
hello
anything, just I always will when I'm walking past someone say evening, you're try and make people feel. And I think that's a big thing we lack in society today, especially down south for some reason. In north it's not so bad, but just saying hello in the street to people, eye contact,
be friendly.
Yeah, the amount of times I've done it and people are a bit shocked that you kind of said hello, and then they light up and like, yeah, hi, you're right, yeah, good day, and you just keep moving, and that little bit of positivity passes through, and they say hello to the next person they see, and it's these little things in society that we need to start doing again that are really going to boost everything and bring us together and hopefully stop this kind of thing from being able to occur, because people don't have those opportunities as much because there's more eyes on the street, more fucking cops. Come on, put some more goddamn police out there.
I don't think the majority of women think all men are rapists and murderers. I don't think that's grossly over exaggerated, and there's the small minority of people, and I think that sometimes a statement does need to be overstated to be taken seriously. So they need to say something that's so out there and ridiculous that people are like, well, just
take note.
But then people are aware of it and they're like, okay, but so I think maybe these are things.
The fact we've taken note from somebody literally saying, how has this girl not been able to walk home on her own safely? That sentence alone has struck with me as like, yeah, how the fuck has that happened? Like, we live in a world of cameras on every corner. Why? How has this happened? And she wasn't found for like 4 or 5 days, was it? Maybe more. It's just and honestly, please don't be taken by the extremists that are going to come out from this, who are going to try and demonize men. We need to work together. Man, woman, neighborhood, environment, the whole lot. It all needs to be one unity, just to proactively look out for each other and stop these things happening. You start doing that, what you start creating is a barrier towards opportunistic attacks, because people have
that's what it was.
Eyes
it was pure opportunity,
That's
wasn't
all
it? For
it
that
is.
person.
Yeah, he isn't stalked. Well, as far as we know, they're usually a spur of the moment thing.
I'm guessing he's obviously, that's been something that's been in his mind for
He will
a
have
long
built
time.
up. Guarantee whoever they catch who's done it, he'll have done stuff previous that they haven't known about. So that's what they do. They build. And this is it. But as shitty as this sounds, it's one attack in a country of 70 million people. Which is a horrible thing. But I'm just trying to give you the statistics in terms of the same way of like knife crime. Everything's like knives. Knife crime, actual knife crime, is less than it was 10 years ago.
And
we hear more about the ones that do happen.
I think everyone's wanting this world where that's never going to happen and there's going to be zero.
No, there's always going to be evil.
I was going to say, and as much as I would love it,
even evil, calling it is maybe the wrong word, because then you're saying it like it's something someone chooses. And I can't stress enough, like, a lot of these people have a brain imbalance. It's a compulsive disorder that they have. They're
not wired right.
They're not wired right. They're not wired right. It's not the normal guy, and that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid of the normal person in the street. Be aware, that you do
what you need to do to be safe as well.
Do what you need to do to be safe.
Don't go around like
don't just yes, we should be able to walk here, do this and that, but we can't. There's too many people.
As a guy,
too many variables.
There's still situations where you still have to be very aware.
Dude, I walking alone down certain streets like at night, stuff like that is scary for me. Like, and I can fight. I know I can fight. Like, I'm quite confident in my ability to throw a good solid punch and defend myself. But even then, it's and so to be as a woman, that a lot of people are saying you don't understand how scary it is for us to do this and that. No, I do. I'm very aware of that, which is why I consciously make an effort to always be very soft. In my approach to late night when I'm walking around, coming a woman coming the other way in the street, I'll always be like smiling, like hi. I'll make an effort to make them feel comfortable. If that makes sense. I've always done that. I mean, I've got 3 sisters. I'm very aware of that. So there are many of us who are very aware, and many of us who are very sympathetic, and many of us who would fucking die to protect you. Just honestly, I would. I'd fucking, if somebody see somebody getting attacked, I'm going in.
Yes, 100%.
So yeah, there we go.
The rant over.
Not even a rant.
No.
Just, yes, we have to be aware, but please don't demonise all men for this, because that was a sick human being. and it's not happening on every street corner. It's not every girl walking home. This is just a very, very sad event.
Yeah.
And just one that we did need to hear about, and we need to, and maybe it's the kick up the arse that the country needs.
I hope it kind of helps push everything in the right direction, and we can tighten everything up as best as possible, and get this as low as these incidents as low as physically possible.
Yep. So. Yeah, because it's very, very sad.
Should we leave it on that sad note?
It is a sad note, but also a positive one. We can come together as a community and fucking fight these things.
Yeah.
Keep places safe. Right, that's all. Anyway, good. Lovely. Drinking in the morning.
Yeah.
Schneider cuts.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. YouTube died off ages ago.
I tried restarting the YouTube, so we maybe had like a minute of footage.
Oh, right. Okay, we got a little bit back on it.
You've had an extra long podcast, so yes, thank you all very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip.